Greetings, my fellow divine co-creative celestial beings of the now, or as Obi-Wan would say, hello there. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. This is Studio A. My name's Monty Dean. This is Planet Collingwood. Open round table. You have to say it like you're trying to get into Aladdin's cave. But it wasn't Aladdin. He was stealing it from the thieves. Where was I? Yes. If you enjoyed the last 2 hours, a big thank you to Why Not and crew for the Y-files. Go to freedomslips.com or revolution.radio and donate what you can to help the station continue to be on air on Studio A and B. Just click on the Patreon button there and just $5 a month or whatever you can spare, obviously. Coming from someone who can't make rent because we're in lockdown. You know what I'm trying to say here, and once you've helped out the station, you can also help out the station by going to the Zazzle store and buying some merchandise, t-shirts and caps and onesies for the little ones, and then pop into the chat room and hang out with like-minded, like-hearted, dare I say, loved people. Oh, dear me. My lunch is coming back for revenge. At the moment, we've got May Street 139, as well as Popsicle Toes, not much to it. The gang's all here. Oh, and of course, Flippy, who referred to me as Monty Wood. I'm not sure how to explain, because Collingwood, it's, last week it's like, it's time for the wood. And I don't, I am not Planet Collingwood. I rule Planet Collingwood with a copper fist. And if you'd like to join me, just send me a message on the old Skypey wipey, and I'll add you to the call. Here's someone I did earlier, added to the call, not any other way, you perverts. Cortek, are you there? From our correspondent from the Free State of New South Wales. No, can't hear you. You'll probably have to reconnect, punch your computer, feed the old guinea pig there. And he's typing. Oh, he's turned into a pirate. Arg. So while he has technical issues, I'd like to point out it's Mercury season, as well as a new moon and the Schumann resonance spiking as well. So it's been a very interesting week. Quick update for here in Victoria and Melbourne. We are having our restrictions, what's the word they used? Eased on Friday or Thursday night at 11:59, because apparently the coronavirus works to a clock. Fascinating stuff, as always. And I can travel 25 kilometers from my house. Still have to wear masks everywhere. And I'd like to point out, once again, that the mask actually protects me from a $200 fine. So I also, being a hermit, this whole leaving the house thing, it's just when the government says, you can't do this. But I've been doing it for 7 years, and now you're telling me I can't, and I don't want to. You swine. Well, so there you go. Also, tonight's show is brought to you by qheal.com or q-heal. If you're in Melbourne and Sydney, I'm going to say Melbourne. I'm not sure about who knows with what's ever going on. I'm sure Cortek we may dive into that, just the ridiculous of it, of 3 days before the state of emergency powers were about to run out. We have a corona scare. Right. And vaccine passports and so on and so forth. And it's just getting tired. I'm not co-creating this experience. I'm watching from afar and going, to misquote Elvis in The Simpsons, this show's no good. I'm not going to shoot my TV. Hey, all right. Cortex stepped up to the mic, turned it on, and I sound like Daryl Eastlake. Oh, just let me finish the sponsorship because, I have to pay for my session. Let's be fair. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm on radio, so I may slip into the radio voice when I can. Okay, let's get back to the sponsorship part of the show. Yes, Q.Heal if you're in Melbourne and Sydney for hypnotherapy and QHHT practitioner. It is fantastic. I had a wonderful session. You get to talk to your higher self and realize, wow, all I have to do is just focus my frequency and I can communicate it better. Obviously, Paul does it much better because he's trained to do it. So, if you're in a global lockdown where the international travel is just gone to a drip instead of a torrent, pop into Melbourne and see Paul when you can. He'll still be here. So when we can, 2024, once the world gets back to a normal. They're talking about vaccines. Oh, we want everyone vaccinated. Like, yeah, because,
Yeah, since the 80s, you've wanted that.
Yeah. There's money in their syringes.
I saw a Gary Larson or something like this, going through all Gary Larson stuff. And there's this classic one about, the doctor vaccination or whatever, cruising the streets with his van that looks like an ice cream van.
Yes.
And the guy going, sometimes unknowingly people kind of wander up. But that's 87, so, it's been a long time.
Yeah, that's the far side for those playing at home. I think Cortek and I are on the same page, the Far Side page on Tracebook. I think that's the the official term.
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's just Facebook on the tin, but it's Tracebook. Let's be fair. I mean, when Facebook came out, the CIA's gone, finally, I can do 3 months worth of work in about 20 minutes, because I know I'll put up my phone number and my address and all my photos and
where I am right now.
Yeah,
where I am right now, and what I'm doing right now.
I went on vacation. Not holiday, because I'm not doing an accent from Australia. I went on vacation and I told Facebook I was in the Caribbean and my house got burgled. I mean, what are the odds?
Crazy.
Well,
what a world we live in. It's got nothing to do with you, you putting
announcing,
from day to day.
Announcing on social media that your house is empty. Yeah, well done. So, so what is it like to live in a free state of Australia, Cortek? Tell me what it's like.
Still feels reasonably in limbo, like the rest of the world, until we open up the borders. Like, what's going on there?
Oh, well, that's true, but you don't live in a city that is trying to outdo Pyongyang.
How is it with everything that's come out about? Oh, now we can confirm now the data was bad. Oh, we can confirm everyone's decision was bad. But can we get on with it then? Can we open things back up? Like, what's going on? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a 24-hour news cycle and globalization through information. And yet our governments are still going on the reports from February 2020.
Yeah. Sorry it's taken me so long to arc up about it, but,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean...
better err on the side of safety, but I think we're past that now.
So, well, also the corruption that is in the media, where, like, you got the Fauci emails and... I'm sure the alternative media's, excuse me, once again, the return of the lunch, the alternative media's going off. And, of course, here in the mainstream and the health minister and the government and all that, it's like, have you seen these emails from Fauci?
Yeah, we don't want to hang on to this too long or make us look stupid. A bit late now.
Yeah, I know. It's like, No, really, look at them. Yeah, because I don't know if it made it into your onto your radar where this is an aggressive variant of the disease, and because we don't want racism involved, it's not the Indian variant. It's now some Greek letter, because even in medical thing, like, you can't call it the Wuhan flu. That's where it came from. You can't call me Australian because that's racist, you knob.
We've proved that, haven't we now? We've gotten past where it came from. Who are the people who are kind of conspiring to make things like that and funding it? It wasn't really hard to guess at the time, frankly.
Not really a guess. It's more of like,
It came naturally from animals. Or someone doing something. That was when that was a serious situation of taking a simple lie and making it stupidly complex, and then it was
Let's just circle back. Yeah, okay. Let's just circle back with the information. It came from an animal and a bat soup or wet market. Blah blah blah. Where was that wet market?
It's in China, Monty.
All right. Yeah. So I'm just wondering, the China flu is racist, and yet both scenarios released, escaped from a lab. Well, almost got 3 timelines. Accidentally came out, was released on purpose. No, it's a bat. From the same town.
If you've got a country that is doing any kind of research into weapons grade stuff like that, then regardless of what you're told of how beneficial that's going to be, you're basically working for someone who wants to spread this amongst everyone and kill people. Really, aren't you? I mean, really?
Yeah. Well, there is a small group of people that think that let's kill off the herd because we want to control because we're better than everyone else. I mean, I like how they say everyone's dumb. It's like, haven't you been in charge of education for a century? Maybe it's you. Like, and also, if the planet is an energy farm, DNA farm, just farm, which let's pretend you're a farmer and you have 10,000 herd of cattle.
Yep.
And you sell that cattle for people to eat what the French would say beef, but in English it's cow.
The beef.
Well, yeah, what's French for cow? Beef. Ooh, it's really weird how that works. So yeah, you've got the flesh of a cow. So, but now, one of the managers of the farms decided, no, we're going to kill 9,000 herd because we want to control the rest of them. That's not really a good business model. Do you want to work with here?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I thought they've been trying to do that for so long and just incompetent in everything they do that even if they want to do that, it'd be hard work.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the apex of evil and corruption and all that. They don't want to get rid of the herd because they rather they want people to believe that there's going to be a mass die-off and feed off all that energy or the loosh.
Are we just stuck in? I found that thing. You know, when I was speaking about, there was a term that I thought was the original term for loosh. I found out the other day. It's 3 letters. That's the end of my story in terms of that, though.
And when you go back to it, you may actually remember those 3 letters. Well done.
But if you can then take those 3 letters and do further research into like really old school opinions on that because the term was changed to stop people looking into it more.
Of course, yeah. We're being controlled. Well, see, I am a pedantic man. They're trying to control us, and it's like, they've already won. Well, no, we're still on air. There are people being rebellious. That's the other thing. They're going to kill off the obedient side of humanity, and they're going to leave all the rebels. And their goal is to control people. Not, yeah. Did they work in the Lucasfilm marketing department? Well,
Never
they don't
works.
like our products, so we'll just insult them so they'll buy.
Did they sell more Star Wars merchandise marketing only the dark side of the Force? No, that's been a complete failure.
Yeah, we've got a new Star Wars film coming out. Give us money, you sexist pigs.
Oh, come on! Let's turn everyone's hero into a stormtrooper, and we'll do one of the movies like, have a go at being bad, shoot some people, and if you don't like it, you can switch sides. And so we'll market all stormtroopers. See how that goes. See if we can engineer a whole generation of stormtroopers who don't know what they're doing or what side they're on.
And we'll give them all German accents.
Yeah, like the boys from Brazil.
Yeah, I'm going to liberate all your people by shooting you. Yeah, free you from your mortal coil and go into the 4th dimension. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it doesn't work. Now, the interesting thing is, you have the chance in video games because you don't want the films like you don't want to follow the heroes of the stormtroopers, like no, but in video games you have an option of being a rebel or work for the Empire. And so if you have a bad day, it's like, you know what, I just want to kill people just to vent the energy. I'm not a mass murderer, but I need a venting aspect. Like I stub my toe, I'm cranky, I'm going to be a stormtrooper and shoot some bitches.
Yo.
Yeah. I also like to point out as well, my great quote of current year, nothing works, yo. My Mac is not recognizing my second monitor, which reminds me of a Robin Williams joke. How does it recognize someone? How do I know? I know you don't know. I know, but for whatever reason, the Big Sur, which they keep naming their operating system after mountains, like fair enough. Like Sierra, Big Sierra, Catalina, blah, blah, blah. But my computer just said, no, I'm not going to acknowledge. So I'm on one screen. So everything's bunched in. And like, I so like it when I've got a Starship type of deal going.
2 screens is the best.
Yeah. And my printer doesn't work as well because they upgraded the software. Like the hardware works perfectly. It's just the software. And it's the downside of innovation, where it's controlled innovation. Like I've bought this is like nearly 4 or 5 years ago, a external DVD CD drive, so I can listen to CDs or transfer CDs onto my computer or watch a DVD. And I think there's a Blu-ray version as well. And like, I have to upgrade. But the thing is, like, everything's digital and in the cloud. It's like, explain how vinyl is coming back.
Well, it's a better sound. I've stopped buying toner for my printer. I use it as a scanner, but I don't. There's just no need to print anything these days, really.
Oh well,
rarely.
Rarely. Like my mum's printer died after 7 years, and in this day and age, like, really, it lasted that long? But she prints out a lot. She's a treasurer for a tramway museum, and so there's a lot of paperwork. And like, she actually her and her partner have, I think, 5 actual file cabinets in their back room. And it's just the generation thing where they rather have hard copy instead of, I'm trying to work the computer, but the crank handle's not working. I just want to look at a folder.
I couldn't find the crankshaft. And then I said the files are in the computer. So I took it apart with a hammer.
Yeah, exactly. I got the persuader out and smacked the living crap out of it. Or a persuader is a hammer in Australian speak for certainly. It needs the persuader. You mean the hammer? Yeah. Whack, 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 whack. Dear. So it's modern technology, and of course they're ramping up the whole cyber attack thing. So from the entertainment industry, as a fan, physical media matters because I hate to break it to everyone, streaming services is just an ongoing racket called rental. Because you don't download anything. Oh, I can watch this movie till they remove it from their server.
Yeah, or your favourites there, and then it's not there. It's not the same.
Well, if you remember Jesse Ventura, Conspiracy, I think it was just called Conspiracy. He had a conspiracy show.
Yeah.
And I think it was the JFK one. But people used their TiVo or they recorded it to their set-top boxes.
Yeah.
And the company removed it from their streaming site, went into everyone's personal box and deleted it from they went into their house and deleted the show from their set-top box.
Everyone.
Yeah. So the show was scrubbed from the internet, as well as, like, if you had a set-top box and my set electronically went in and removed the data from your set-top box.
I didn't think anything was that groundbreaking on there, was it? I mean, what's the deal?
No, not really.
Missing something there?
Well, it just made it worse. It's like, when Alex Jones got purged on the same day by the 3 big tech companies. The man who's saying that the big tech companies are working together to censor the internet censors the man that says
is the same guy.
Yeah, they do to him what he's been saying. Like, we're ruled by psychopaths, run by idiots. And
we seem to be in the reverberation of idiocy right now.
And that's why the New World Order is taking control. No,
a Russian, like a general or something, made some comment like that during the week regarding some pact where some international treaty that America doesn't want to sign up to. That also that Trump had not signed up to in his term either, or slipped away from, which was about having unmanned observation over your country or something like that.
Yeah.
Something
I saw people been sharing in the station chat here on Skype. The Pentagon's testing a new missile because they're ramping with their war with China. And it's like, is this saber rattling, or they're trying to manifest, or because usually... Remember when wars just happen, something bad happened and then the people defend themselves? Now it just seems to be an economic movement. It's like, well, looks like, the stock market's going to crash, and to get the money back, we'll just get the industrial military entertainment complex up and running. So China seems to be, it's almost like the state of origin. That's a local reference for everyone outside of Australia, because it's state of origin. For
you could say game of football, and then everyone kind of put in their own little local reference for it.
On whatever the sports ball is. Now, speaking of military, we've been joined by our New York correspondent, John Z. Lieutenant Z. Lieutenant. Actually, what rank do you want? General, lieutenant, private citizen?
I prefer colonel. But,
Colonel.
lieutenant.
Straight to Colonel.
Oh, I like that. It's very KFC. Oh, the colonel's here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I need to get one of those bow ties now. Shit.
Yeah,
That's not a bow. That's not a bow tie. That's his little body.
I remember.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, I think it was Mad Magazine where a Colonel Sanders impressionist walked through a chicken farm, and of course the chickens are freaking out. So, or Glenn Beck in a white suit, and I'm not having a go at Glenn Beck. He's pointing that out as well. He knows he looks like Colonel Sanders, not the Senator of Vermont. I love chickens. I love them roasted. I love them baked. What's going on, Mr. Z? Oh, Colonel Z.
He does look like Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, he does. And he's pointing that out. So we're laughing with him, not at him. That's the brilliant thing. If we were to laugh at him, he drank so much Diet Coke that he started going blind. Then he realized I should stop drinking all this aspartame, and he's so much better now.
So I think you're right, man. I think that war has been for a long time an economy thing. And I imagine it's going to get to a point where you're going to get your daily forecast for the weather, and it's going to be something like, chance of showers, partly sunny, with a rain of missiles at 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, skirmishes in the south.
Yeah, skirmishes in the south. Because I just realized too, because it's like, as Bruce McDonald puts forward, it's not going to be a sandbag war. It's like, I agree, it won't be traditional combat. Like, the Greeks go out and fight the Thermopyles and all that type of stuff. We've gotten to the point where war is a racket and they need to make money. But I'm sure the accountants will come in. All right, we need to do a pincer movement. Oh, geez, no, our budget won't allow.
We can't do a feint. We don't have that many people to split.
Yeah, we can't do a feint. You just have to run towards the machine gun nest. I'm sorry about that.
Or no. I thought we got more ammo, guys. Oh, we did, but we had to give it to the guys in the back.
Yeah, after you die, we need the guys. What about the World War II surplus? Well, we sold that to the enemy a couple of years ago. Sorry about that. So watching a lot of MASH because that was a constant joke. When will they stop the shelling? Well, they still have the World War II surplus to go through. I would be surprised if there's anything left from World War II because Afghanistan and Colonel. Did you see there's a story? Our Australian SAS have been naughty boys, and it looks like an elephant has just downed a jar of laxatives and pointing its butt at the ceiling fan. There's a lot of war crimes and all that. I don't go into too much.
Look, man.
No, did you see the story? Did you see the article story first? Yes or no?
Yeah, I know of it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The funny thing is about the whole. This happens to every country, every once in a while, but I don't understand why people suddenly throw them under the bus. Now, look, if something truly horrible has happened, yeah. Take care of it, handle it.
Yeah.
But most of the time, and this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, but they're doing what their government has asked them to do. That sounds crazy.
Yeah. Well, actually, you said it the right way, because if you said following orders, well, that gets a bit Nuremberg. But yeah, and also modern day combat is not exactly like the redcoats charging Arlington, where I would like to know in history which idiot's like, what should we dress our soldiers in? Red, so everyone can see them.
It does seem very far from black and white affair.
Come on.
Yeah, because when you're trying to take over Africa and you're in arid desert, you want a woolen red coat on you. That's
absolutely. It's very stylish. Very stylish.
Stands out, contrasting it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll sweat, be uncomfortable, and you'll be surrounded by thousands. But you have you have the. I guess it was the musket back then. But yeah. So yeah, modern combat. What's going on there? It's. But I think it doesn't make sense. Like they try and they don't want to destroy everything because I think Britain's still paying off World War II, or they're just about to pay it off. And Western Europe, I'm not sure. Well, most of Belgium was probably leveled and just it turned into a quagmire, just mud and water, and nothing lived there. I mean, you're familiar with the red poppies. Poppies weren't red, but because there was so much blood spilt, it changed the genetic structure of the poppies. Where they grew back, they were colored red because of all the blood. That's the story I was told.
I thought that was a Hideo Kojima thing. I got it wrong all these years.
Who knows? Like, yeah, and our memorial, it's called the Shrine here in Victoria, in Melbourne, and they've got Palestine on the side, and I'm thinking, I wonder if the Israelis are upset about that because do we change the name because it was called Palestine back then?
Yeah, man, I'm surprised they haven't killed the Queen. She would have cut the purse strings by then.
Who, Charles?
Yeah, you want Charles is the Navy. He was a radar dish. He is. Well, the thing is, by watching The Crown, and I find it fascinating that I care about the characters in The Crown, but don't give a flying moose call about the actual people. Like, the Queen's done this, I don't care. Oh, the Queen did this in The Crown. Oh, is she all right? That's how good it is. But,
for the actors.
Yeah. Well, they're brilliant, well-written characters. Don't care who they're based on. The thing is that they do put forward that, in a way, they're trying to put forward like, oh, this poor family because they're the royal family. There's the tradition of the throne and the crown itself, and they're just actors, but they've been living forever. So you can see in the show there's trials and tribulations of the Queen's sister, Princess Margaret, couldn't marry the person that she actually loved because he wasn't he was a divorcee or something, didn't tick all the boxes, and it's all that stupidity of it. And there's too much control financially on the books, as well as, dare I say, a bit of mind control that they have to, they have to uphold the crown because of the tradition. And like, if there's a scandal in the royal family, it could bring down the monarchy and it'll be devastating for the country. And every other Commonwealth country's like, no, just you.
Yeah.
You mean we'll be free? Oh, awesome. Independence? I've heard that before, my United States. Oh, hey, hello. Lights are flashing. I've been told. I've just been told via my light socket not to talk about this.
Just holding my finger to my ear now, getting reports in. No, we're not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, don't mention the Queen. Don't mention the war or the Queen.
Yeah. It's something that just popped into my head. I guess it's more of a modern thing, but I don't know when we started to regulate wars. Obviously, it was when we started to say, like, hey, you can't use that bad smelling gas that knocks your face off. You can't do that anymore.
That was about. Were we doing it before then?
Oh well, no. Gas was short version. Gas was deadly gas was invented during World War I because that will help humanity move forward. But the stupidity is the main enemy of mustard gas was wind.
Yeah.
Right. Fire some canisters at the enemy, and the wind changes. Like,
it comes back. Run away.
Yeah. Apart from it's like it's a war crime and it's against human rights. I think a part of it was like, well, we're killing our own men because of this. Damn it. Like, I'm sure at one point deleted plutonium wasn't allowed to use, but hey, come on, 1990.
gruesome story about one of the first times they ever used mustard gas on the Russians. Go look that one up for yourself. But yeah, I find it kind of funny how
give us a gist of it without looking it up. Just a quick one. It didn't work properly, did it?
You just go to the scoreboards. Like what? What are the numbers?
Well, okay. Well, it gets a little crazy. So, long story short, Russians are in a really, really good fortified concrete bunker, and the Germans had tried to take it, and they were like, "Screw this! Let's use this gas thing."
Yeah.
So they shoot the gas over, and the Russians' faces started to melt off. And so what they did is they decided that they were going to not sit there and die, but charge the Germans. And as their faces were melting off, they were screaming towards the Germans as their faces were melting off, and they fought.
Is that where the modern idea of the zombie comes from? Maybe face melting Indiana Jones zombie.
A little bit. Yeah.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that's kind of brave. Like, instead of dying in pain, it's like, I'm gonna try and kill the pricks who did this to me, and if I get shot, it won't take forever with my fate. Not really, no. Like, my imagination's like going, no, just do the jokes. Don't just do the jokes.
Keep it to words.
They're. I mean, weather warfare, but still, as I point out with most things governmental, the man with a stick doesn't care about your piece of paper. So,
I just find it funny how we try to throw all these rules and regulations and conduct ourselves in an honorable manner.
Killing people. Yeah, how civilized.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
bring it back to the story.
I know what we're gonna do, Monty. We're gonna grab pistols at dawn. That doesn't happen anymore. And to be honest, I don't think it should.
No, it's too dewy on the grass. You could slip over. That time of day.
Yeah, you do what they did in Blackadder. They actually used small cannons from a boat, from a ship. Where, but
I like this.
Yeah, it was again Wellington, played by Stephen Fry. Blackadder the Third. It's quite good. Where Blackadder's the manservant of Prince George. He was a regent because his dad was slightly nutty. And Prince George is played by Hugh Laurie. And if our American friends are just know him from House, watch him in Blackadder and you'll just see the acting range, because he doesn't have an American accent and he's playing an idiot. So
he's good.
It's complete. Yeah. Most comedians can do drama quite easily because they're not trying to get the laugh. They just milk all the drama for it. So, except for Jim Carrey, when he started doing drama and everyone decided not to go watch it. This ain't funny, no, at all.
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times.
Yeah,
maybe I think when The Rock did something serious as well, it's like, what happened? I'm a serious emergency services person and I go to save the day. Where's the kind of laughs? Come on, jeez.
Yeah. Serious people have a sense of humor, because it's like saying, that's what the Bible's missing. I'm sure Jesus was one of the first stand-up comics. If you have to work a crowd of 400 people, you're going to make them laugh.
Yeah, it's funny to think about.
Well, I think the most serious person in movies was Steven Seagal. I mean, come on. I mean, the guy was just amazingly retarded.
In a good way. Yeah.
Never go full serious like Seagal.
Oh, but he when his jokes did come out, they came out badly and poorly, but he still laughed because he's so serious, and then he would attempt humor. And it would stick out like hay bales on a tick.
That's what made it so good.
I know, it's like no.
That awkward Seagalness.
That awkward run he had too was.
yeah. And now he sometimes he looks like a Russian gangster, and other times, and he's still alive. And
he's got a bit chubby.
Yeah, but he's still he'll rip your arms off. Yeah. So there's a reason he's.
I wouldn't say it to his face.
Yeah, he's like, you're making fun of Seagal. Yeah, he's not listening. There's no way in hell would actually mention that to Mr. Seagal.
He still looks really, really great for his age and stuff. If I ever see him in person.
Yeah, and he may be a bit slower than his movie, but he'd be quick enough to beat the crap out of me.
With one hand behind his back.
Yeah, or trying to reach around his front. Yeah.
Is that why he sits down for all his movies now?
Yeah. He's gone Brando.
Yeah, I was listening to one of these mob podcasts, and they told a story about him that I thought was hilarious.
Well, I've got to go back. Is it the mob doing their own podcast, or is it someone investigating the mob? Because the first one sounds funnier. So, like, the nose comes in and shoots this cow, right?
Yeah. Oh, hey, no, you're right. You're right on the money there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Everyone's doing a podcast, even hired killers from the mob. Yeah. Yeah. Very popular.
Yeah. And so I says, what's so funny?
He's got no...
Do I abuse you? Am I a joke to you? Is that it? That reminds me, I was channel surfing when I used to watch free-to-air television. And if John, are you familiar with the show called The Bill? It's a police show from England.
I am not.
It went for like 26 seasons. It went on forever. And strangely enough, it's about a police station. But and so it's a police station.
Tell me more.
Oh, right. Okay. Like, you don't know what a police station is? You're in New York. You're in New York.
What's an American?
Well, I heard they're endangered now.
Yeah, they're tourist spots now. Like, look, police. That's where people used to be policed. The American version, at a stretch, Law and Order, but it wasn't from the in a way. However, it was a half-hour show. Went on forever. Everyone worked on it. But I was channel surfing, and I ended up on a scene and all I heard was this sentence, and I remember. You'll understand why I remember it quite clearly. A gentleman of the criminal aspect, I would say, said, "Shut up, or you'll be picking up your teeth with broken fingers in a minute."
Up your teeth with broken fingers. Did you get those two mixed up? Like he's going to break his teeth?
No.
He's going to break your fingers.
He's going to punch your teeth out and break your fingers, and while you're crying, trying to pick up your teeth with broken fingers.
Ah.
It's a visual thing. That's why I think I saw it in the 80s, and it still stuck with me. Just the image of like, that's harsh, man. Bleeding from the mouth, and you got your fingers, and yeah, good times. But enough about. But that's marketing for you. Well, anyway, it is fascinating where war is a racket, and I'm thinking they're going to change it. For the accountant.
We're getting off topic about the greatness of Steven Seagal.
All right.
So
bring it back, Colonel.
Yeah. So this mobster guy. Long story short, basically, some guy from the mob back in the day, because they were getting a cut of some of his movies somehow. Basically, he pissed one of the mob guys off, and they basically threatened him. And this is back, I think this is back when he had his little law enforcement thing going on. The FBI had to calm him down because he was crying so uncontrollably. They had to hug him.
Well, he's a sensitive man. Like, he's found his chi. He's centered. And instead of beating up people, he went on camera and pretended to beat up people. So why not?
Yeah, he'll put handcuffs on you, but don't make him cry.
He said a mean word. Well. So my new action films now are sucky. I can't think of the last action film I watched. Oh, there's the Fast and Furious, but they're getting ridiculous. More
ridiculous. Okay.
Well, I think they're up to 9 now, and it's just ridiculous. Like the scene I saw, apparently, Vin Diesel and the attractive Latin lady, I can't remember her name. They're in a car. They're being fired at by someone in a helicopter, and they have to get across a really big gorge. And so somehow he drives the car into the supports of a rope bridge, and a post with a rope at the edge of the rope gets wedged under one of the wheels, and he just floors it, and they make it across this vast valley because he swung it. Where it's like, yeah, because you have to make everything bigger.
He Tarzaned a car across a rope bridge.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Didn't land, didn't make the landing, but they survived apparently.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
well,
Can my car do that?
Technically, but I wouldn't try it. I don't know how fast can a Chevette go. So I don't know what type of car that is. I just know it from Bill Hicks. Like, I guess in Australia we call it a laser. Reminds me of a Rodney Rude joke. My brother finds lasers. Where do you find them? At the airport. I cleaned that up if you're familiar with Rodney Rude. Like, there's much more swearing in the sentences. He's still working. Good for him. Oh, dear me. So, yeah, one film, they actually had a car chase with a submarine.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think they actually got an award for best practical effect, and it had something to do with the movie, the Safe. That apparently that was actually a real stunt. That wasn't CGI.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised how much. Like, I think they're filming the next two Mission Impossible films back to back, and I think they may be released a year apart. But then COVID ruined that, and then Mr. Cruise went nuts. However, being the executive producer, he would know, like, if anyone gets COVID, it shuts everything down, millions of dollars insurance, and so he got a bit nutty. But Tom's a bit insane. Like, yeah, he does all of his own stunts, and the stuff that you see, I don't know how they do it. You got to the level. There's some stuff was like, that he's wearing a wire, and you get shot in the stomach with a shotgun, and they pull the wire. Or if you watch The Fall Guy with Lee Majors in the '80s, you find out how all the stunts are done. Yeah. But nowadays, it's like, nah. It's like, how good's the green screen here? Are there nets? Because a lot of people are standing on the edge of buildings, and I'm thinking, is that wise to have the star standing on the edge of a building?
Yeah, there's a lot of suction out the side of buildings in those films, isn't there? Like, suction cups on your knees and stuff like that, and you're kind of the footage is showing the street below 40 floors.
Yeah. I can't remember because I watched all Mission Impossibles at once. It's kind of good to binge, but when you remember it, it's not, because everything's blurred into one thing. But Mr. Cruise jumps out of a helicopter and lands on this big ball of cargo or something like that, and it's 400 feet up in the air, and it's like, it's worth just watching to see how much Tom Cruise is going to risk his life for, just for entertainment. He's like Jackie Chan, but insane.
I haven't seen anything from Jackie Chan in a while.
Oh, he's getting old. He's been doing it since the 80s, so I think that's why he did Rush Hour. It's comedy. Once again, you don't want to upset him. He still beat the living crap out of you because he's practiced a lot.
Yeah, his arms would still be like steel bars.
Yeah. Not like Grandpa Simpson, who'll bore you to, or the President of the United States, who'll bore you to death. Do you know? I hope everyone's sitting down. I'm going to freak you out with everything that Joe Biden has done. It's only been in 4 months.
I'm sitting down.
Yeah, it's like 4 months. Like, the way that they go on about Trump and all 4 years, and he did this. Now it's like, well, I haven't got the list in my head, mainly because I don't want to go through it all. But we know what Senor Biden, or people call him Beijing Biden. It's only been 4 months. He's done all.
We need to coin some kind of comedy term like Senor, but something funnier, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know what the Chinese word for Mister is.
You completely killed me, Monty. I got cut off. So, Scientology, Tom Cruise. What are they feeding that guy in terms of stem cells and baby parts to keep him that young?
Well, maybe that's the trick to staying young and youthful, is to get rid of the fear gene and go insane.
Did you ever see the South Park episode with Christopher Reeves?
I may have. I can't remember. Once again, yeah, there's 21 episodes. Remember the? Sure, why not?
Yeah. Vaguely though.
I do. Is that the one where they keep saying because Tom Cruise is hidden in a closet, and it's one of the. It's
No.
a well-known secret, but still the running gag through the entire episode, and Tom Cruise will still not come out of the closet.
You got to come out of the closet.
Yeah, it's like
nice
that whole where they did Steve Jobs and the Human Centipede crossover, and it took me 4 goes. I'm watching. Yeah, I was watching the episode, and it took me 4 goes to realize what the joke was. Where because everyone just presses accept. They just won't read, and then they, like 4 or 5. Oh, click. That's what it is. Brilliant.
Yeah, the Christopher Reeves one was a play on him having broken his back in the whole Superman thing. So he's basically eating fetuses and then becoming Superman. It was interesting.
Yeah, and because they're extremely popular, it's hard to take them down. The writers of that, because I know it's Trey and I've forgotten the other guy's name now. That's just not right.
Parker.
Yeah, that's his. Yeah, and the other one, Trey and Matt. Yeah, Matt and Trey.
Matt Stone, and Trey Parker.
Trey Parker. Yeah, they've got a group of writers, and they make their show in 7 days. So the jokes are very topical. But I love it. You can see. I think it's around about season 9 or 10. They pivot away from gross humor, and they started leaning into the social aspect of things. And they're not Democrats, but they write it in the way where they show both sides in a basic way of saying it.
Yeah, they show the humor of the situation rather than taking sides, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember the episode where there's two groups of psychics fighting each other?
I think my favorite one though was the one where Cartman's using the taco torpedoes or launchers. Man,
the t-shirt launchers is. I haven't seen.
Yeah, but he was firing tacos out of them to get Mexicans to go to over the wall or across the border or something like that.
They're genius. The stuff they come out with is so good.
Yeah, I recently, I think about a month ago, but time is an illusion and I don't care. It's like, what, it's June? Wow, all right. And then, it's 4 months since Biden. Oh, man, 4.5. Crap. It seemed to, there's 2 levels. The days are long, but the months are short. Or it's the other way around. The days are short, but the months are long. What was I going to talk about? I can't remember now. That happens here on Planet Collingwood. You go blank. It'll come back to me in about 3 minutes, which is be totally out of whack for the conversation. Oh, that's right, pears. What? That doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, I watched Team America. World Police.
Oh, you finally watched that?
No, I watched it again because I haven't watched it for years.
Oh, okay.
And that's like 2002. And I was like, oh, this is a bold move straight after 9/11. And
get to a terrorist on Pakalaka.
Yeah, Durka. My favorite one is Gary. Hold on. Gary. It's and the Film Actors Guild or
fag. Pull that same joke.
Yeah, basically, and they jokingly said, "Oh, why did you use marionettes or whatever, the puppets?" And they go, "Oh, we hate actors." And then when they tried to make the film, it took forever. They nearly went over budget. They went over time because they had to get everything. But they were on hand and they were sort of not rewriting the script, but they were changing jokes all the time. Like they start. One character's fighting Eastern European terrorist, and it starts out like the Matrix, and they've got that bullet frame zoom thing, and then they actually start hitting, but it's just 2 marionettes flailing. Like we're not choreographing the fight. Just mash them together and see what happens.
It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not about that, Gary. It's about trust, Gary. Remember that time when you had to have sex with your mouth? It's that. We have to go back to that time, Gary. That's bad intelligence.
So many bits in that. And just so many kind of focuses on these just subtle facial kind of tiny little shake of the head, little rise of the eyebrow or something like that. It was just so well done.
Yeah, and strangely enough, everyone involved found the sex scene quite enjoyable to make.
The extended, the uncut one.
Yeah, I saw the uncut and like, no, I don't know. I don't need 30 seconds longer. I'm not going to pay for a thing where they just get a bit gross. It's like, no, just the theatrical cut is enough. And apparently they were trying to do it, and then eventually Matt just goes, "Oh look," and grabs them like Barbie dolls and starts doing stuff with them. So they're holding the puppets out off screen and doing all that stuff. But the puppeteers enjoyed it. Strangely, because this is not Sesame Street. Let's just say that
it's not Sesame Street.
Well, yet. Let's be fair. 2022 is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, hopefully we can get past this. People got to start moving again. This is ridiculous. Like the government can't sit in this feigned. Do you mean the data was wrong? Do you mean everything we've done is wrong? Sure.
It comes down to free will, unfortunately, and that's kind of. I actually did kind of research for the show, and I came up with an idea. I'll talk about free will because now this may be controversial for certain people, but if you're trying to wake people up and save humanity, don't insult them. Oh, you're wearing a mask. You're a sheep. Like, yeah, that's going to turn them. Oh, you got me.
What? I thought the only way to reach people was to insult them to convert them.
No, that's the Disney marketing plan for Star Wars.
That's how you meet your best friend when you're 5 years old.
Yeah,
get in there, see something in them that's a little bit like you, makes you a little bit cross. You have a little bit of a biffo, and then you're best friends for life.
Yeah.
Wait.
23.
So what you're saying is we have a problem?
Yeah. Yes, we are. Master Mickey. Yes. Oh, you guys suck. Give us money, you sexist pricks. Yeah. There's no conversation, and it's not helping where you're wearing a mask, it's blah blah blah, and like, well, free will. Don't encourage. If someone wants to wear a mask, okay, especially when it's mandated. Like now, it's obviously different in the United States because you built your country on freedom and rebellion, so it's slightly different here in Australia.
Is it at that point you can just show like the Fauci emails about the masks not doing anything or something like that?
Yeah, you can try, but they're so conditioned. It's like, well, that's fake, and all fake news.
I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing what I'm told.
Yeah,
I'm doing this job because I don't have to think.
Yeah, are you from New Zealand? Wow, that's right, bro.
They have been built on that, but I don't know what the rest of it going upward has been built out of, especially the last 20 years. Because I don't know what this is. I don't know what to call this.
Twilight Zone. I remember there was a TV show made in the last 10 years from my scattered memory. Sleepy Hollow. They did a new version of that where Eaglebart, whatever his name is, time travels or he's cryogenically frozen magically or something, and someone from just after the Revolutionary War travels 200 years to now, and there's one scene where they went and got coffee, and he looks at the receipt and he sees how much the tax is on the coffee. You people pay 10% on coffee. We went to war on 3%.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, you missed it, Monty. It wasn't, it wasn't sci-fi. It was actually a documentary, that was projected into a movie. It was telling you the truth. You missed it, man.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Projected. Yeah, that's how it works. Good times. We're coming up to the break. We're halfway. I think we played well, and we're scoring points where we needed. We're kicking goals at chess. Figure that one out.
Oh, It's like Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the points don't matter.
Yeah, it's just like voting. Yeah.
Yeah, you got me on that one.
Yeah, welcome to Australia, where the votes don't count themselves, and they also don't matter. So, like, good times ahead, ladies and gentlemen. We're halfway here at Planet Collingwood. Open Round Table. My name's Monty Dean. We're just going to go through these messages and see, go through the post-it notes, see who actually called me. No one again. Oh, come on. Revolution Radio, Studio A. We'll be back in a sec. Stick around. Come on, guys. Get more water. Get your brooms. Welcome back to Planet Collingwood, Open Round Table. My name is Monty Dean. If you enjoyed the last hour, thank you. We're not sponsored by an evil corporation. They have more boats than the Chinese Navy. It's like next they'll be making movies. If you enjoyed the last hour, please go to freedomslips.com and or revolution.radio and donate what you can so we can continue on being on air, Studio A and B, 100% listener supported. I would say, until I'm corrected, the longest running, what's the word I'm looking for? No, completely blank. Something project on the crowdfunded project on the internet today. And once you're there, go into the Zelle store, buy some merchandise, and then pop into the chat room. Jer Bear has joined there, so if you want to talk to our Las Vegas correspondent, he's right there talking about edibles. So like, all right, let's go. Yeah, who's hungry? Also, tonight's show is brought to you by SJ's Ninja Dojo for Squirrels. Learn the way of the squinger. SJ's Ninja Dojos for Squirrels. Let your rodent defend you. We've been joined by another guest, which is a mispronunciation of guest. Gentlemen, please welcome the Viking, our Northern Californian correspondent. How are you, sir?
Hey, guys, I'm doing well. I'm just joining your last hour. I just wanted to join in.
Oh, yes. Well, yep. That's our goal of Planet Collingwood, to make people laugh. A bit of, not gallows humor, just make people laugh and, bring some sunshine into a darkened day, especially, here in Melbourne.
There's lunch again.
Yeah, bloody lunch. Eat the chicken, you said. It'd be good. I sound like Gary to what? Anyway, we'll get to a weather report in a second. So anything you'd like to add? Anything that piqued your interest?
I want to make a comment on the mask wearing, the people out there. The situation. Well, just the people that are wearing masks. It wasn't really clear here because I've been really kind of doing a huge audit in my own life here. And everything that I've done in my past lives, I have raped, murdered, killed, backstabbed. All these things were like, for some reason, I was on contract in each lifetime to experience that. And the people that I perpetrated were in contract to receive it. And for some reason, in this lifetime, I'm having to audit now and go through all the emotional, traumas that I experienced. And I need to experience it in this lifetime in order to resolve it. And so I'm seeing that people that are wearing masks and us reacting is just, they're on contract to do exactly that. Until you realize that they're on contract and they in going with your free will and choice. It is their free will and choice to wear a mask. And for some reason, it is causing a huge effect where people are in this, they're waking up. The whole thing here is that no matter what they do, every single agenda has been pulled out of their playbook, and it's falling flat on, just falling flat on their face.
Yes,
it's not working. Yeah, it's not working. The only thing left they have is their false alien invasion, which that's not going to work.
No.
Oh, come on, Blue Babe, come on.
No, it's not going to work at all.
But that is on the Georgia Guidestones. That's part of their narrative, and they're starting to. You can see that the algorithms of the past month or two, where they're starting to leak the fact that they're acknowledging UFOs, right? So they're starting to build up to something. If they're all of a sudden, after a gazillion years, start to admit that there are UFOs, I'm just wondering where they're going to take this, because it could go, they could play it any way that they want.
Yeah.
But it's just a huge boondoggle with what's taking place. And in fact, they are on contract to do exactly that, because in their supposed stratagem, they literally are waking hundreds of thousands of people up every day. I mean, it's just so interesting to see the dichotomy and the contrast here at work.
I was also wondering why there was the increased reports of UFOs and stuff like that all of a sudden. To what end that pattern was going towards,
Exactly.
And the interesting thing is, just give me a sec, Viking. Interesting thing is, this is like the fourth or fifth time they've tried to push it out into the mainstream consciousness, and it seems to be it's not making a foothold, but people are taking more notice of it.
Do any of you guys remember when they tried to do sound checks and make like an audio and or like a visual and make it an audio medium as well as a visual medium? Do you remember that? Around the world, there's all of these reports of like basically if you got a guitar and an amp and you don't turn the amp off before you plug it in, there was kind of noises like that, like reported around the world.
Yeah, there were not horns of Jericho, but there was all those sky noises, which most people this is fascinating. What is it? I don't know. It's just fascinating. Where it's like it could have been a number of things where they just turned on an acoustic machine or something, or it could be a mothership entering the atmosphere or something. Also, it could be anything. But that's the thing about the conspiracy world, where one bit of information comes up and then people add things to it so it makes sense. And it's like, well, Trump apparently is coming back to be president. Well, he didn't say that. He's baiting you because he's a salesman with a massive ego and a billionaire. So when he says, it looks like we may be in the White House very soon. Well, what the hell does that? He's not actually saying I will be president in August.
He's keeping people talking though, isn't he? For whatever he wants to sell or buy next.
And most likely it could be a family member. It won't be actually him. The way I feel about it is if Trump gets back in, that's not the right thing. I mean, he'll still be up there, and it could be his son or his daughter or something. He'll still be like the Gandalf compared to Aragorn, but he won't be, the new Lord of the Rings type deal. Yeah, I'm just mixing all my metaphors and analogies and similarities.
Even if you had the Dalai Lama in the position of the office of president, you'd still be getting people saying, "Well,
you've been listening to China."
He was great before he kind of sold out.
Yeah, you're listening to the Chinese again. That man that keeps spreading peace, love, and compassion. He's a terrorist. Sure, go ahead, Viking.
I don't see there being a singularity anymore. I think if anybody comes back, it's going to be a consortium, more like a council. I mean, this whole thing with the president and vice president, two parties, is just absolutely draconian.
It's unproductive, isn't it?
Yeah, very unproductive. And it's just gone on for so long. And I mean, people are sick of it and tired of it, and the cheating and the lying and the backstabbing and the two-faced. They say one thing and do another. I mean, it's doomed. I mean, it's got to have to, we're going into the next 7 years, a monad, I refer to as a monad, where we're going to see a world council emerge where the earth is going to be split up into 7 regions, and we're going to have a prime minister. And, that's the way, it's like Star Trek. I believe they did that. Yeah. And that's just the way we're going to be able to then interface with galactic and galactic trade and galactic technology. It's just, we just have to weather through this, man. You're going to have to put on your wellies and trek through this shit, in order to make it to the other side, and that's exactly what's happening here.
Yeah, I don't see it. It's not the savior, not complex, but the savior program. It doesn't work. Trump sort of showed that, where you just can't give your consent to one person to save. Like, even if Jesus comes back, he will probably, I'm not here to save you. I'm an example. You do the work. You save yourselves.
Not again.
Yeah, the last time I was here, was nailed to a tree. I'm not going down that path again, all right?
That was a free first-time deal. Not again.
Yeah, actually, someone shared a meme, and it's so my humor, where it's Jesus kneeling in front of a rock, and it's like, God, are you there? it's you. Because just Jesus is anyway.
He was never meant to save us. So he's always there to. He was just sharing his understanding, and it's how it was bastardized by the by King James and whatnot. I mean,
he's a teacher. He's more of a coach, like playing golf. Yeah.
Exactly. He's like a life lesson coach, and if you're there to hear his support, like even people around you, what you were saying earlier, you can't tell anybody, but if people are willing to listen, then lend an ear, then we'll share our perspective at this point in this juncture of this bifurcated reality. We live in two realities. We're ping-ponging back and forth between this hologram and this higher aspect of awareness. I don't like to call it dimension of 5D because that's all more or less track training. It gives you a focus, but really what's happening is we're awakening to our true aspect of
being.
Yeah, you dropped out there.
It does feel like we're still just stuck in this schism until people are allowed to move freely. This is just like, all those jokes we had about governments, wanting to take away our freedoms and all, being just like CEOs of international corporations. Yeah, that was last year or the year before.
Been there, done that. Boring. Hated it. It's fascinating. Where I shared a meme. I do that a lot. That's my. What are you doing in the spiritual war? I'm sitting in the stands, but I keep showing people memes and making them laugh. But it's a metronome, and one side is we're getting out of it, and the other one is we're fracked, and it keeps going bing, 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 and It explains what Viking was saying, where we seem to be in. I don't know if it's timelines. It's more. It's frequency. Leaning towards. Yeah, yes. Like the Dolores Cannon prediction that she got from doing over 40 years of her quantum healing hypnotherapy, or however I keep getting that wrong.
She was a bit like Edgar Cayce, wasn't she? Casey.
In a way, yeah. Well, she was just a conduit where she would talk to, like, sometimes in sessions she talks to the higher self of the person, but occasionally other people pop in and say, oh, by the way. They even go further up, or they not the higher self of this lifetime. They tap into other aspects, and she was getting information. And there's going to be two Earths as the frequency separates. Where I don't like the term 5D because it's been weaponized, but it's a better place, and that's just the start.
You mean like a cell splitting?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Where the 3D.
Exactly.
Yeah, the 3D where everyone's like, no, I want to pay taxes. Like, well, you can live on the crappy Earth.
Everyone knows that microscope visual of the cell splitting.
Yeah, and it's good representation, actually. Thank you, Cortek. Yes. This is why I have you on. You like that divinity teacher in Hogwarts. Occasionally you're right.
Hooray!
Yeah. But that's sort of what we're feeling as well, where it's actually frequency. And people that are invested in money, the financial system, they'll probably stay on the old Earth, and it will slowly crumble away, or however it will unfold. And then there's people like us who are open to new experiences, getting rid of the trauma, answering a phone.
My timer to wake up to the show.
Yeah, that's right, Viking. You have to wake up to this show, all right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. But yeah, it's that thing where, save yourself, save the world. It's not basic physics, but it kind of is at the same time. But it's spirituality, where you are a unique perspective of creation, and you're co-creating with the Earth. And the Earth is kind of fine, because if the Earth was in trouble, hello, pole shift. So that's not.
Yeah, I think I think the Earth has got it's its own entity. I think it's conscious. I think if it really was worried about things in a drastic kind of way, it would just kind of shake itself like a dog.
Actually, she was very impatient, and she was going to do a cataclysm, and the other galactic and elemental races had to calm her down. I mean, she's actually pretty pissed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fracking and stuff still going on.
Oh yeah, we're not helping. Like I'm not saying we're getting off free.
No, but she's hanging in. The Schumann resonance, of course, that's energetics, and of course the CMEs and with the photonic waves, and these are all bringing in higher energetics and frequency transmissions to activate us. And as you're saying, these people are locked into this lower holography, this 3D, who want it all to go back to normal, and they want to have Christmas and their Hallmark holidays and sports and be able to drive to Safeway and buy their pork. They're not getting it.
Just to buy the pork bit at the end. I don't get it. I don't get it how anyone can even watch free to air TV or anything like that. And that was 10 years ago. I tune into it vaguely here and there for really weird reasons, and I'm just horrified. You get to the ad break that's every 30 seconds, it seems, and goes about 4 minutes, and the volume's up 25%. And you just go, this is all the reasons why I hate this, and you just turn it off. Do something worthwhile.
Yeah, it's such a negative or lower frequency. And because I've been on YouTube way too long, every time there's an ad, I try and click the skip ads. And I'm like, oh, damn it, it's free-to-air television. I'll just mute this.
So bad.
Now, we've been joined by a fellow Victorian, also on house arrest. I think, I don't know, are you outside of the Ring of Steel? Harry, how are you, sir?
Are you talking about my Ring of Steel again?
No, you pervert. Hey, all right. And there's the tone for the rest of the show.
Speaking about rings, I've got chimes out the back door, and there's this ferocious wind blowing around, and I thought, how come the chimes aren't ringing? It's really weird. But
what happened? Were they all knotted up?
No, they're not. I went out and had a look. They hadn't fallen over or anything. They've just sort of clinking away quietly in the massive window, which is really weird because usually they're going off like, nobody's business.
It's the fairies.
Yeah, they all got hangovers. It's like, just hold this for a while. Oh man.
Well, the fairy very nefarious.
Oh, yes. Well, actually, I was going to do it at the top of the hour, but I remembered it now. We'll just do, thank you for the weather report. We'll just do weather reports around Planet Collingwood. I'm very close to, compared to everyone else on the call. Harry and I are very close. And, it's the first storm or rain front of the winter. And, geez, Melbourne hasn't disappointed. Grey skies for the entire day, wind and rain. It's a beautiful winter's day, but the crappy end of winter. What's it like where you are, Cortek?
It's kind of that as well. It's gone all over the place. It started off grey and horrible, bit of rain, then it swept off out the coast and was sunny, and then it went all cold and miserable again.
Yeah, well,
in one day.
I'd
like to call it Melbourne weather.
Exactly. Now, let's be careful about language here. It's not a miserable day. It's good for the garden. It's your perception on, it's a miserable day. It's a bit scungy.
No.
Why? Because it's clouds and the water's falling and helping.
Say scungy. Didn't bring the S word out.
All right, calm down, Knackers. It's not really. It's only your perception. I can't go outside, so you just curl up on your couch under a blanket and watch your favorite TV show or read a book. It's like, how is that miserable? But no such
thing as bad weather, just inappropriate clothing.
Exactly. And when you live in Melbourne, that could be anything. Oh, it's sunny. Better take the umbrella. We don't get snow.
Take it anyway.
Yeah. Viking, what's it like in Northern California at the moment?
Well, in Fahrenheit, 60s and 70s, and it's pretty nice. I mean, this is actually a pretty mild summer. I mean, usually it's up into the hundreds by now, and it's been pretty mellow, and just still getting my garden in. In fact, I just got my irrigation lead today.
Nice.
And for my back acre. And putting up the tomato netting, and going to rebuild the chicken coop, and I'm building a deck for a dome, and a lot of activities here on Tree Frog Farm.
A geodesic dome.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I actually can you not refer to it as a dome and just call it the firmament from now on?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Just a bit of humour there, ladies and gentlemen.
Firmament. We're building a firmament.
It's a band firmament.
It's going to have its own timeline and have its own, portal reality.
Imagine if all you had to do was to make an Edward Buller. Is it Edward Buller? Who's the guy who came up with those frames? Make one of those frames, and all of a sudden it just automatically, because the geometry is just star holes itself. Star holes, not the right term I was looking for.
I don't know. I've been thinking, the gazebo family? They're huge in Japan. Oh, this is a gazebo built. But it's fascinating. Like, I learned this from Doctor Who, but so it's clearly true because everyone knows that's documentary series. They were doing, Shakespeare in Love is the name of the episode, and they go to the Globe Theatre, which has been rebuilt, but it's not the same specs as the original. They've tweaked it a bit, but the way that if you stand in the middle of the stage at the front and you speak like how I'm speaking, you don't really have to yell. You can speak at a normal level. Everyone in the arena can hear you because of the way that the geometry of the building.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's like, amphitheater. Well, we can do better than that. And John Z, if you're still there, what's it like in New York? Still raining hail of bullets and beating of small minorities, and he's just getting a cup of tea.
I think he's off getting a cup of tea.
Yeah,
I think he's loading his pipe.
He could be beating up small minorities.
I'd like to point out everyone's
there
opinion on this station is their own. Mr. Z, Colonel.
What
I ain't getting on no plane.
Yeah, look, okay, Colonel, go to your
Weather
window,
report.
look
Weather
out of it,
report.
and tell me what the weather is.
Oh, the weather. It is cloudy with a chance of rockets between 4 and 5 a.m.
Sounds like it's patchy everywhere to me.
Well, interesting that Viking said it's a mild summer. Harry, you would agree that Victoria had a very mild summer as well. Like, I think summer turned up for 4 days, not all at once, but it was very mild. And it's,
I wasn't overly impressed with that.
I believe that it's kind of unseasonably cold in certain parts of Australia right now.
No,
it's only.
It's usually this cold, but it's bringing in some good snow, I think.
Well, yeah, it's just the beginning of winter for you guys. So,
winter.
Thanks for reminding me. I've got to close my fridge door.
Yeah, stop heating up the house.
Oh, me too. I did it as well. Australians do that so much.
A quick reminder for those following the calendar: the solstice is in about less than 2 weeks. It's June 21st, 22nd. It's the 9th or 8th or 9th. Bloody time, friggin'.
Is some kind of point where we should be celebrating in some way to
well, actually,
the planet we live on somehow.
We should be celebrating Christmas down here because that's what the Christmas is about, celebrating the winter solstice.
You weren't gesticulating at all when you said down here, were you?
Well, I actually know you are right. All your maps are wrong. Australia is not the land of down under. It's up on top. Well, the maps are upside down.
Oh, you're talking about country.
Yeah, well, there's more land in the northern hemisphere. So, just wait, ladies and gentlemen. Just,
You're not talking about the map of Tassie, dude.
No, I'm not. Once again, tone. But there is a town called Clitoris in Tasmania. Just pointing that out.
Is there?
No, there isn't. Is there? I'm the intelligent one.
How did I miss that?
Wow.
You never know these towns.
Cortek, there is. Try and find it.
Yeah, hey, look for the boat.
Right.
There's a town called Kilmore. That's a real town.
I know. Yep.
There's a
what
town
do we call it?
There's a town called Mole in Tassie.
Yeah, there's a town called Moe, which is spelt Mo, in the Latrobe Valley. We also have a town called Iron Knob. There's I still
think that one of the best names ever for anything is Lake Titicaca.
Yeah,
that's just me.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, see, college
sets the bar pretty high.
College students had a couple of spliffs and like, let's name this puddle. All right. Just outside of Melbourne, there is a small mound which they call Mount Disappointment. because apparently the story is the European settlers let's go to the top of that mountain, and we can see Melbourne, and they didn't, and they were disappointed. I love how
all they could see was the next mountain.
And there's a very low statistics of Eliza in the name in the suburb called Mount Eliza.
Yeah. And it's not an order, Mount Eliza. Leave her alone, you dirty man. So, but also we have South Meringue. That's not a food, but there's no meringue, so I don't know why it's called South.
You don't want to eat it then.
Wow. Somebody just ooked at me from their car. That was interesting.
New South Wales, that's pretty obvious because it's South Wales, but it's new compared to the old. And New Zealand actually is named after a part of the Netherlands.
Should we petition for Queensland to be called Wales then? And then and then Victoria can be New South Wales.
I always found it interesting how places over here are named after places in England and Europe in general. It's just like, well, did everybody who named everything just come over at once, or did we just give up and just start transplanting names?
No one that was creative to make new ones, or what?
Well, okay, where am I talking about when I say Surrey Hills, Coburg, Brunswick? A lot of
I know where New Brunswick is.
Yeah, and we've got a Brunswick down here, and so it's around that time, like the mid 1800s, where everyone just we'll use the same names, and there's not many Melbournes. There's one in Florida, and it really upsets me when I try and search something on the internet. Melbourne, no, not Florida, the other one.
It's probably about the same time when we all arranged to get the same national anthems done that no one likes.
Yeah.
Yep. And at about 3:00 in the morning, you can be in Fitzroy and see Brunswick.
Yeah. Fitzroy, Carlton, I have no idea. I've actually lived in most AFL teams, the Melbourne ones. I haven't lived in Essendon, but I've lived everywhere. I was in South Melbourne, which went to Sydney. I'm boring everyone outside of Australia, I just realised, because I'm talking.
Which one's the best, and was it a nice suburb as well?
Fitzroy was good, and then I moved to North.
Does it translate to how good they play football, though? I meant.
Oh no, North Fitzroy. Fitzroy moved up to Brisbane, so North Fitzroy that covered there. Where else? Oh, Carlton.
Did you find an inverse relationship, so the places that were best to live had the worst football teams?
No, basically, no. All I realised is I listed of where I lived, and I realised, am I reading the AFL fixture? What's going on here? It's like I realised that it wasn't a plan to where are you going to move to? I'm just going to follow the AFL, the Australian Football League, which used to be the VFL, the Victorian Football League.
I think you guys should take it back.
Take what back?
Just the V in the AFL.
Well, no, it is Australian now.
It's bigger that way.
Yeah. Following the NFL in the United States.
So it's AFL now instead of VAFL.
Yeah.
VAFL.
Yes. Not like the NRL, where I think we've got Melbourne Storm, so we have one team here for rugby league. So I don't know how State of Origin works, because it's usually between Queensland and New South Wales. What all the Victorians do?
People still play, as another boring local reference, do people still play rugby league?
Yeah. Well, the State of Origin is actually on tonight. I only know that because the Veronicas are performing at it.
Oh, what time?
Oh, yeah. Let's just the fact that they're twins and they're very attractive. They can sing too. Apparently, they're 7:30 on Channel 9.
Oh, it's a pity I don't have TV.
I'm sure it'll be on the internet. Thanks for that build-up. Oh, I don't have television.
Did I mention? I have absolutely no way of watching it.
Yeah. When's it on? I can't watch it. So
I think what we should do to bring awareness to, the foreign sports is we should get all the Major League Baseball players to trade in their baseball bats for lacrosse sticks, have them go overseas, and watch them just get utterly destroyed.
Well, yes, because
I'd like to see a baseball player try and hit a ball with a lacrosse stick and it just stick to the net.
Well, baseball is actually all around the globe, and it's fascinating that I think there's one Canadian team, but the rest of them all American. So World Series, so you've won it every time.
Actually, they should go to Ireland, play hurley.
Oh yeah, now that's almost a sport. Oh no, it's almost a violent reaction.
That's just basically on a pizza flipper, isn't it?
Yeah, with a cue ball from a billiard table.
Yeah,
and a few eyeballs missing too.
Yeah, you can see how that might be a good spectator sport, though.
Yeah, and soccer or /football, depending where you're on the planet, it's very easy for people to play because you give a child a ball and they'll start kicking it around, but they only score in 90 minutes. They score 3 times. It's so you wonder why riots happen. It's so boring.
Not if you're drinking beer.
No, that's how the riots start. Kick the bloody ball.
It's a fine line between entertainment and riots.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about Australian football. It's like how did my dad describe it? Aerial ping pong, and it's like rugby league is just cross country wrestling with an egg.
Yeah, it's true. It's not much of a game.
If anyone's got Netflix out there in the rest of the world that wants to know a bit about Australian culture and the Australian police force, watch a show called Blue Murder. I don't know if anyone's seen that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Underbelly.
Is it new or old?
Story.
It's been around for a while.
I just watched it the other night.
Is it an ABC production?
I don't know. It was on Netflix.
Yeah,
was it a British TV series?
No, it's Australian. It's Australian.
Yeah, Australian New South Wales Police Force.
Yeah, because the 80s was really good for them. The corruption, everyone was corrupt.
There's the tagline: the best police force money could buy.
Oh yeah.
It also gives you a realistic idea of what Australians at that level are really like.
Yeah, it's the level of corruption. Even I think Underbelly has been shown overseas as well. And good night, Colonel. Thank you for being here. And it's weirdly enough, you can't buy the first series because I think they're still having court cases over it.
Yeah, Underbelly was extremely raw at the time, and the people they were talking about were still alive, going through the court cases and ramifications from the things that were in the show.
Yeah. I don't think they showed it. I can't remember they showed certain episodes. But the thing is, if I give you money, Cortek, you can go to JB Hi-Fi and buy it for me. So it is available outside of Victoria.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's, watching certain things, it's like, I've been there. So with Melbourne, like Queen of the Damned, the other reason I bought that and watched that was because it was made in Melbourne. Same with Ghost Rider. And
the local background?
Yeah, it's basically this is supposed to be Texas. It's like that's Flinders Street Station. What are you talking about? It just pulls, but it's interesting where you look at something and you go, I know where that is. I've peed there. I've gone there. I've done that. Yesterday I watched the miniseries Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke and Charles Dance, who's the old Targaryen from Game of Thrones, the midget father. Just no disrespect to the Dirk, the actor, he's brilliant. But I'm just trying to help people out. That guy, you'll recognise him. He's in Last Action Hero. That's where they first saw him. But he plays Krillian in Childhood End, and he looks exactly the same as the devil. And the makeup on it is phenomenal. But all of that was made in Melbourne. I only realised at the end where it's like, we're going to New Athens. It was like, piss off, that's Federation Square. That's a Melbourne tram.
I'm just looking at it now. The story follows of the peaceful alien invasion of Earth by mysterious overlords, whose arrival begins decades of apparent utopia under indirect alien rule at the cost of human identity and culture. Yeah. Sounds like a great story.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, it's a classic Arthur C. Clarke.
52 or 53, he wrote it, and I've got a feeling he was part of some secret societies. mainly because, like, if you've seen 2010, the sequel to Space Odyssey, they actually ignite Jupiter as a second sun, and all the planets in the solar system are yours, and except for Europa. And like, oh, telling. I wonder what secrets he's sharing here.
Yeah, yeah. Says Kubrick wanted to do this in the 60s.
Yeah, well, I'll have to watch 2001 again, because it's kind of boring, but at the same time,
so long.
Yeah,
we're docking. Okay, I got 15 to 20 minutes here.
And there's no sound. There's no sound in space, which ruins Star Wars. How can you hear the pew pews, but there's no sound in space? But there's all classical music. And then right at the end, I think there's no dialogue except for, "Oh my God, it's full of stars." And then there's 15 minutes of an acid trip. And then at the end, like, there's interpretation, and it's basically man finding its inner child. Blah blah blah. I'm like, I was just tripping balls. I had no idea what was going on. But there's a reason. Once you watch it, you realize, now I understand why. You may not understand it, but you can see why people love that film, and it was groundbreaking. Especially it leads to the he faked the moon landings. It's like, well, yeah, because in this film it looks real.
It's got a lot of subplot. It's great. I went back to try and do the 2010, and who's that guy from? It's got that guy from Joy, Roy Schneider.
Yeah,
and it's kind of it's kind of watchable, but I think I still don't think I got all the way through it without.
Oh no, you're
getting sidetracked.
That's the fun part about movies and stuff now, because everyone has a short attention span, and I can make a 2-hour film go for about 4.5 because I get bored, turn it off, go to the toilet, make some food, but you can't do that in a cinema. It's like, hang on, just pause it, everyone. I'm just quickly dipping out to the toilet. They're like, wait, what? Come on! But that's why cinemas are in a precarious place at the moment, because everyone's streaming. And so the cinema won't disappear, or theaters, depending on what part of the planet you're on, but it will become an actual event again, because if you've got a room big enough to have a 30-meter screen with 17 speakers, it's like, well, you're just rich and you have friends over.
What we need is these theaters to be repurposed into a way to have as many people in the theater that can sit on the seats be interactive with some kind of collaborative project on the screen that everyone can contribute to.
That's they're called X Club cinemas.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, you stick to the chairs. Yeah. Another thing is that Hollywood could stop making shit. So
they're not going to do that. The whole reason it was made was to influence and program.
But
it's features like death, destruction, mayhem, murder, kill, destroy, maim, and hallelujah. There's no end to it.
Yeah, but now there's at least storytelling in those. You can watch a film about all this negative stuff, like, oh, that's terrible, but it was a good story. Now it's basically a large woman that has a disability with blue hair, spouting off how she's defeating the patriarchy, and oh look, she won.
That was 2020, wasn't it? They're still going with the
they're still doing
from making feminist movies.
Yeah, it's not about it. To quote the Joker from The Dark Knight, it's not about the money; it's about the message.
What about that movie Orange Hair Bad? What was that one?
Orange Hair Bad? Is that like a barbershop comedy about Donald Trump getting a haircut?
No, I thought it was the election thing, wasn't that? That's the movie.
No, that's Orange Man Bad.
Oh, Orange Man Bad. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, which they're still like, why won't Trump go away? Because you keep talking about him.
Oh, it's like who farted in the room?
Yeah, you may want to explain that. Just for the people outside of the Federation of Australia.
All right, another word for passing wind is Trump. That's an old.
Oh, trumpeted. Yes. Yeah, I remember watching a very early D-Generation comedy sketch where do you at your workplace do you get blamed for people farting and they think it's you? Well, now we've invented the fart whistle. Just place this in your body, and a personalized tune will actually be expressed. And you've got another 30 seconds of everyone having different tunes coming out of their bum.
I want to get 3.
I hope
you know who did it. Yeah, while we're on the subject, and the squirrels, I saw some footage during the week, and it was, I don't know where I saw it. It was some random compilation of weird things that go on in the world. There was a squirrel, and it was sitting on top of this air conditioning unit. The air conditioning unit had 2 fans on the top blowing upwards. This squirrel's kind of off to the side of this round fan thing. He's got his legs kind of in the air almost, and the tail is kind of keeping his legs up in the air, and then he whips the tail back, goes to the toilet, and what he does kind of goes, you see it kind of float out into the middle of this fan and then just shoot upwards into the air.
That's actually part of the new Space Force initiative, using animals to defend the planet.
This world is an amazing place.
The Prime creator can write good jokes, and also the defensive systems of animals. Remember when science used to be, let's look at nature and see how it works, and now it's like we're gods. So we can get SJ involved. I'm sure you got your squinges, give it some laxatives, and you've instantly got an anti-aircraft gun.
Biomimicry is where it's at.
Yeah, they do great fighters, grade 5ers now. Let's look at nature and see how it works.
But then they've gone a bit nutty. It's like, I know, let's just take the DNA of a goat and a spider, and then we'll make our version of Kevlar. It's like, what mad scientist who gave them funding?
That's kind of cool, though.
I know.
If they asked me and I had the money, I'd give them that.
Yeah, but also, it's only one step away of like, let's just put human DNA and chimp DNA together and see what happens. Like, there's been so many movies. It's like AI. Like, maybe because I've watched too many Star Trek science fiction films. It's like, we're going to create AI. Have you seen the movies for the last 30 years? Go ahead, Viking.
You said, I think the Anunnaki already did that.
Yeah. Explain the platypus.
Yeah.
Robin Williams says God had a joint. It's like, I got an idea. Let's take a duck's bill, a beaver's tail. It's a mammal, but it lays eggs. So, yeah. I think Darwin was very excited when he found the platypus. What the hell is this?
Doing all kinds of weird things with signals and its eyes and infrared and all this. It's like there was all, I want to see what bells and whistles you have for all the other animals, the bells and whistles they have. I'd like to group all of them together and give them to one animal and see what happens, see what they do.
Too much to ask to have friggin' lasers on my friggin' sharks. Yes. Like that. Yes, it is. Yeah. Apparently they're making, there was talk of making Austin Powers 4. It's like, well, the third one was tapering off, so I don't know if they'll make it. But they're making Indiana Jones 5 because, Harrison Ford's in his 80s. That's going to, good for the stunts. Watch India sand a ramp.
Yeah, Indiana Bones.
Yeah, I thought they were trying to pass it off to LeBouf with the whole hat thing in the last one.
No, he likes to get into the cooking sherry and say weird shit on the internet.
Does he? What did he say last? I know LeBouf said some funny stuff. I don't know. Did he annoy the hands that own the studios?
Well, apparently, I don't know if this is true or not. He made a film and released it and only made $8. I'm like, that's hard. I mean,
who did he release it to?
I know it's like
down the street.
Well, it's in his lounge room and no one turned up. Like,
I got a sign out the front. I'm selling tickets for $8. I only sold one.
I'm sure on the planet there is 200 people that still find that man attractive and they'll go see the movie.
Yeah, sell it to the chicks.
Yeah, and that's not a judgment. That's just an observation because he's still, he's not there in the head, but he's still apparently pleasant to look at. That's the one thing about dating. I want the trifecta. Emotionally stable, coherent, intelligent, and beautiful. And I always get 2 out of 3. There's an actress. I won't say her name because I don't want to start my fake feuds. I've got an idea for fake feuds where I'm going to pick a celebrity and not make up stuff, but attack them for being awesome. And
tell us what their name rhymes with really badly. And then
Banana.
It won't count.
Her last name is Banana. She was in the first Ant-Man movie. That's where I just like, oh my God, she's gorgeous. And then she's a little bit left leaning politically.
Maybe she's just trying to get more work.
Oh, she's got one leg longer than the other?
No, that's Eileen.
Oh.
So no.
Not Evangeline Lilly.
No.
Hallie?
For God's no, you
just tell us.
Everyone go get your phone. Everyone get your phone book if you still have those, and let's go through all the names.
There's a lot here. Ant-Man cast. There's like 30 people.
Ching.
Is it Michelle Pfeiffer?
That rhymes with banana. I know you said badly, but it's like not that badly. Remember, children, vote banana.
Flockhart.
Oh, for God's sake, no! I'm not spending the last 10 minutes is like, oh, I'm just going to go quickly through all the cast, and I'm still going to say.
I've got an Anna Arcana, but she's a writer.
No, that's the character she's playing.
Oh, that's her, is it? Oops, said too much.
He won.
Yeah, he won a punch to the face. Don't worry, I'll just tell people I was cleaning my fist and went off.
Monty's in love.
Well, I was.
She knows now. She might reach out.
Yeah. No, well, no, she works way too much. She's done stand-up, music. She was in Jupiter's Legacy, which Netflix canned for whatever reason. It's like, well, it wasn't that bad, and a lot of people watched it, so they shut it down. Apparently, it wasn't woke enough.
Hey, why don't you ask Miss Banana if she wants to sit down on your stand-up show?
No. She's vaccinated and she hates Trump, and I don't really see having a conversation. It's like when people say, "Why do you want to meet Britney Spears?" I don't want to talk to her.
Yeah, she comes off a little mental looking.
Yeah,
that's the way I like it.
Hey, you cray. It's like, yeah, I like her. I'm a little bit off, just a little bit off. She's also in Los Angeles, and I'm in lockdown, so don't even dream.
Probably for the best.
Yeah, for everyone involved, including my lawyers. Yeah, there you go.
Very scary.
Yeah, no, it was an observation when I was allowed to do that. Tone, phrasing, people, phrasing.
Oops.
That reminds me, I have to I got to buy the Archer stuff on Blu-ray. I've only got season 2, 3, and 4. That's just silly, but also it's funny at the same time.
It's great funny.
Yeah, just the tip. Just
the amount of phrasing calls in there.
Yeah. So we've got about 10 minutes to go, and I don't know. Do people want to share what they're up to in the next week, or they want to project what will happen in the next week, or do you want to go into the what if machine and make shit up?
Let's go in the what if machine. The machine.
Well, free will. I mean, there's 3 of you. You can choose. It's not like we all just pick one. Like Harry can say, "Well, I've got a gig here. I'm going to church there." Blah blah blah. Cortek can go, "What if?"
How would everyone's personal next week? Most perfect next week go for them, how they would see it.
Now, I don't talk for Harry often, but I'm just going to put it out there. He may lean towards not being in house arrest.
Yes. I don't even realise that it's on at the moment, apart from the wind, because I just can't get out there.
Well, there is that. Yeah, like, you want to go outside? No. I put the cat out and it's done 3 laps.
It's like, that's right. It's like house oppressed at the moment.
Yeah, it just reminds me. The only scene I remember from Twister with what's her name? She was in Mad About You. She married Hank Azaria. Helen someone.
Let's just call her Helen.
Yeah.
Elle.
Yeah. The drive. They're chasing a Twister and cow.
Oh yeah.
Cow.
In that movie, Twister.
That's the same cow.
I liked that movie. That was quite good at the time.
Helen Hunt.
Helen
That's
Hunt.
right.
Yeah,
You have to be careful how you say that on radio.
No, that's Mike.
Michael.
Yes.
Michael Hunt. Just
Very
be careful. Yeah, you got to, certain things because, the people are tricksters. Let's be fair. Well, I know in my up-and-coming future, around about 40 minutes, I'm going to a pizza place to pick up food for my mum and her partner, and I get a free pizza out of it. So, it's a win-win situation.
Sounds fantastic.
So I get in my car and drive away from my house, and I end up with a large pizza.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah. So, Also, Viking, I'm wondering, apart from weird dream, this is what I've been having over the last week with everything just gone wacky, like the blood moon and the Schumann resonance and, the Galactic Empire entering my house, all this weird stuff. Dreams are getting freaky. And yesterday, because I finished doing the Stardust Ranch audiobook on Monday, my time, that's coming out hopefully in about a couple of weeks. So if you want to hear me talk for 7.5 hours, hey, send me money.
Did you narrate it?
Yes. That's how you make an audiobook.
I thought you were listening to one, not recording one.
No, I recorded an audiobook, and it's not me just reading it. You just hear the pages occasionally turn.
Do you do different character voices?
Not really. It's not. It's more of it's like a fireside chat. It's the way that the book is written. So you don't really hear, there's inflections here and there. A enthusiastic monotone is basically the voice. But on the Tuesday, which is yesterday for me, when I wake up, I usually do that quantum, the quantum thing of you set out a list of what will happen in the day and the universe unfolds. And I said, I'll get up. Small victories. I'll get up, get a cup of tea, have a shower. And I got to there in my house. I was like, no. You try and plan for the day, and the universe has a completely idea that you should do something else.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, well, my dreams. I've been waking up in my dreams, auditing my dream. Auditing means that all of those emotional encumbrances you have to face them and recognize them and
acknowledge them.
Acknowledge them for them to resolve. I mean, this is where I'm going with my dreams. So all these waves I was saying earlier, they're coming in. Everybody has a code there that's unique to them. That's perfect for where they're at. In their contrast. Dreams are the subconscious bleeding through the unconscious and the conscious mind, wicking up these scenarios. They wick up a scenario that creates that emotion.
Yeah,
I've
been literally waking up laughing, and I can't remember what I've been laughing at.
Oh, in a way, one way to explain what Viking, it's cutting sandbags while you're on a hot air balloon.
Right, exactly, but with that, once you cut the sandbag and it gets its next elevation, there's another sandbag. It's like climbing a ladder, but it is finite. There will be that last sandbag. It's got to hold true and hold fast because it will come to pass. And not to get involved. The big thing here is not to get involved in other people's contrast. This is major. They're on contract to exactly what they need to do. You have to keep yourself from being pulled into their pit of despair. You have to really be on point and just, have your, because if they're reacting, it's like everybody has a dark mirror. What they're seeing is themselves. They're seeing themselves. They're yelling at themselves. They're screaming at themselves. And you're just reflecting that nature. So it's so important just to stay on track here and just draw a line and move on quickly. Because you don't want that kind of energetics, as you're pointing out, in your life.
Yeah, observe. Sorry, Harry, give me a sec. Observe, don't engage. Exactly. And for me, one more sentence, sir. I do mean it. One more sentence, and then talking stick to Sir Harry. It's like a get out of jail free card. Well, like, why are they doing that? Free will, and it just drops away. So I'm kind of lazy and shitty about that sometimes. It's like, why are they doing free will? And okay, and just swept aside.
I just want to plug my show on Friday, Studio A at 11 a.m. 6 Standard Time. We do the Galactic Interstellar Council. This week, we will be talking about the bifurcated reality and also the how the contrast works. And people that are not able to tune in, we are on YouTube at Christopher S. Jacobs' channel. We have every single show that we've ever done on Christopher S. Jacobs. If you want to tune into the Galactic Stellar Council,
I was going to say that's 4 a.m. for Eastern Australian time. So yeah, Harry, please go.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, Viking, because that's exactly what's happened this week. It's been a saga developing over the last couple of months, but it's come to the point where I've realised that I've been in conflict with people within the church, not for wanting to figure out what's going on. It's just that I've realised I've got to let it go. So I've stepped down. Yeah. I've stepped down from it all.
You would be invalidating them trying to change them. See, but they're exactly where they need to be, and you have to honor them and respect that.
Yeah, I've stepped away from it all now, so it's freed me up. So other doors are open.
I was going to say, how do you feel from that? Because you did mention it a couple of shows ago that there was a bit argy-bargy with this one woman. We don't need the details, but by taking that step back and there's an element of forgiveness. You can forgive them. Eventually, you have to forgive everybody, but just forgiving yourself for being part of it, honouring it, and going, yep, okay, something bad was done. I'm sorry. And you get lighter and move on.
Yeah, that's right. I've moved on, all right. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's what we're going to move on because it's the end of the show. You've been listening to Revolution Radio, Studio A, Planet Collingwood. A big thank you to Cortek, John Zeke, the Colonel, the Viking, and the Harry. We'll be back in 6 days and 22 hours. If you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. I love you all, but from afar. We'll see you next week. See you soon.